Hello, it's me Xadia, and in today's video I will be doing a step-by-step tutorial on how I make my mini paper dragon puppets. What you will need is masking tape, scissors, a pencil or a sketching pen, a pen to ink it with and outline the design with, markers. I use a hoo-hoo, but you could also use Crayola pens, a glue stick or hot glue, both work, pencils, printer paper, and cardstock paper or thicker paper. You can see the difference. I get this in the school kind of project paper area. This is where I get my harder paper from. That is everything you'll need. As you see, oh my god, there's a plane. As you see here, I actually already sketched my paper dragon design. The main parts that you will have for every single dragon puppet is obviously the head and the ears. That's what most of them have. You can have many ears or many different colors. Let me show you. It was a left-handed design. You guys really wanted me to do a grape design with my left hand, so I did that, and she's actually pretty cute for drawing with my left hand, and I'm right-handed, so it was pretty hard for me. I actually really liked the design we ended up with, so I wanted to take this and make it into a mini paper dragon, just like Sunny here. What I do is I actually connect the ear and the head for the baby paper dragons, but for the big ones I do the ear and head separately depending on what the design is. Here are the ways you can take your sketch and turn it into the other side and make it completely the same and symmetrical. What I use is a window, but you could also use a bright screen of a device, which is what I was doing, but windows are actually better in my opinion. I need to trace the design first. Now that you outlined your eye and mouth or the whole design or dragon, it is time for coloring. So as the dragon is pretty small, I would recommend definitely using the smaller side of your pen or pens that are smaller or the tip of your pen. And now I have the base color done. I'm just gonna go and quickly do the little details. Okay, so I've been coloring this for a while now, and I actually think a black outline would do best for this one because there's more darker colors and it's getting a little bit mixed together, so that's what I'm gonna do. We need to do this for the other side and your other side of your design. It's been a few days and I remember coloring the bad side. So this is the bad side. For the little babies, I don't want to traumatize them that much, so they're just like crying a little bit. No blood or anything, but you can do blood if you want. So now you have to take your project paper and the cereal box paper for this part. This depends if you want floppy ears or not floppy ears, but I want floppy ears, so if you don't want floppy ears, just take the design, glue it, and cut it like a normal paper dragon. But if you want floppy ears, I'm going to show you how I do that. Okay, so what we're going to do is cut pretty close just on the head part because we want that to be stable for the jaw. Sorry, I tried to make it move for this jaw here. It's not too close, but just close enough where you know where you're gonna need this. And glue her head, just her head, onto the paper. Only the head part of the dragon. So yeah, as you see here, her ear is off, but her head is on for stability. As you can see on this side, I added many little shading and detail so that it looked like a lot more detail. You really can't see it on this side, but this side, you can see the shading that I did. Okay, so now we're gonna flip it to the other side, and then with the paper, we're going to glue the paper on top like this. Just take your glue stick and only go around the parts that has the ear. Yeah, they're a little flimsy here, a little more flimsy than I wanted it to. So I'm going to take the masking tape, or any tape at all, and just tape them together. So what we're going to do now is just cut all around the little lines and everything. And then once that's done, we can start moving on to the jaw right here. As you can see here, I didn't cut every single little piece because I have one big scissors and one smaller ones. I'm not sure what these are used for, but I use them for like the really intricate detail parts. And if you don't have little scissors, then you can just use the big ones. Just be very, very careful with every cut. Now that we have our pieces cut, it is time to move on to the jaw/base part of it. As I said earlier, this paper, this paper is really, really flimsy. You can see here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold it over and I'm gonna glue it together, and then this is slightly stronger now that, because obviously there's 2 layers. If you have strong enough paper, you don't need to do this part, obviously. Okay, now once that we have our really strong paper, you can see here, I was going to use her as a guide, but I'm going to show you guys how to do it from scratch, obviously, as this might be your first mini paper dragon. Is you outline how far you want it to go. Like, obviously you can't do it this short, you need a little bit more, so that your fingers have something to puppet with. Also do a line up here, and then from those 2 lines, it's basically the same as a normal paper dragon. You have to do a triangle. You also need to make sure that your fingers fit into this one. Can you see that? Okay, you're good, you can. Because this is a small paper dragon, big flaps are really, really helpful. It doesn't matter how big or long it is, just make sure that these lines are straight. But these ones don't really matter, just, you know, structure. Then we're gonna cut this out and use that to make the other side. Make sure that you have space here to do the big flaps. So I'm gonna do that and draw the lines that way. So yeah, you have the lines, they fit very well. Okay, and make sure that they go to the bottom. So this is where your fingers are going to go. And then you just need to do the flaps, which this side has done already, and then this side here. And that will be our base. We're just going to bend them at the line. This, look at that. Our fingers fit perfectly right here. Okay, now we have our top base and our bottom base. This is how it's going to look like, basically. We're just gonna have this, we're gonna add a ring here, as you can see here. That is the bottom ring, oops, this way. And it's going to be able to talk like this. We're so close to finishing. Now I'm actually going to cut strips from here. It depends how thick you want it or not. We have three loops, three thingies, yeah, 3 thingies. Now we're going to take our top base and we're going to glue it to our head. So what I do to glue it together, you could also use hot glue, put it on the head and the base, and then you glue it on. Make sure that you don't see from the teeth, make sure there's a little gap for the teeth and the nose. So you have to push it back a little bit and just keep holding it down until the glue dries up. Once it is dry, we're gonna take our masking tape and stick it here. I'm actually going to cut the tape into half so that I can have a little tiny, let me show you really close up, a really tiny piece of tape going this way, holding it up. As you see, it doesn't go all the way to the nose, so I'm going to put the little piece of tape here. You want tape everywhere because glue stick and tape together are actually really, really strong. So yeah, now our whole base is taped and glued. We're gonna do it to the other side. You can see here she's trying to take form. Oh my gosh. We want it to be the same. So we have to make sure it's in the middle. Make sure there's gap for the teeth and the nose at the same time, and make sure it's centered. Also for the people that are gonna ask why I use masking tape, I use masking tape because the normal clear plasticky tape is really slidey on your fingers, and then if you are filming for a while or just playing with your puppet for a long time, you start to sweat on the paper. So masking tape is like kind of like a fabric to put on top, so you don't slide anywhere or anything, and masking tape is just amazing. I love it so much. And once we add the bottom jaw, she's gonna be great. For the bottom jaw, to stick it to the top jaw, you need to turn it upside down. She's holding herself. And first, make sure it's all aligned here. Make sure it's straight and aligned. You go from the middle first, and oh, it's moving a lot. You stick it really nice, like that. And then she already has a jaw. Don't mind if the jaw looks bad. With hers was perfect, so I just kept the jaw like this, but she is a purple dragon, and I want her bottom jaw to be purple too. We're going to take the biggest ring here and start slowly bending it like, oh. What was that? I'm going to slowly bend all of them like that. The last one here. There you go. We have 3 little thingies. So the thickest one, we're gonna have to cut. I'm just going to go right ahead and figure out like how long I need this for my own hand to be. Obviously, that is a little big for like a few fingers. If you do have a hot glue gun, then obviously use that. I'm just doing tape and glue sticks for the people that don't have hot glue guns. Now that I found my masking tape, we are going to take little strips of it and cut it into even tinier strips, because we only need small pieces of tape for this. So now we're gonna take our little rainbow, have the angled facing this way. I'm gonna hold it and put the tape like that. So the tape is going across here, and we're gonna do that to the other side. Oh, I'm so bad. I forgot about the part where we take glue, and you obviously just do the little part there. Now I'm just cutting them in half again and putting them here. I'm actually gonna put a whole piece of tape now on top of the little ones. There you go. Now your fingers should fit. Now, because these fingers are gonna lift up and down because we have joints here, we actually have to add another one. As you can see here, there's 2 on her, and it fits perfectly to where the fingers are. You can see that one is higher than the other. That is what we're gonna do with our little tiny piece here. So basically same thing, cut out a lot but not too much so that we can like still make sure the pieces fit. So yeah, what you do is you take a piece, line it up, then with a pencil you mark where and what you want the mouth to look like. It looks like this. So this is the mouth, and then the little fluff at the end, which will look like this on her. If you see there. So now I'm gonna cut this out. Now that I have my parts cut out, all we have to do is just glue these little pieces. So yeah, I put glue on both things so that it's even stronger. And then you just glue it down. It actually would have been a better idea to give a black outline to it. I forgot this dragon had a black outline before I glued it on, but it's a little bit too late now, so it's all good. Yeah. And then she has a mouth. Yeah, put glue here too. Stick it on. Make sure that when the mouth is closed, it looks right, and when it's open, it also looks right. Because sometimes you can glue it in the wrong place and then you have to fix it. So yeah, that should be good. We have our mouth on this side and on this side. And now it's the fun part, which is the nose. I gave her a little horn here on both sides. Actually have to, which kind of hurts, but it has to be done so that the nose fits right. Okay, so now that I outlined the little mouth parts and added white to the bad side, so that when it's in the video, all you see is white and not all of the cereal box paper and everything. Now for the part that most of you have been waiting for, probably. It is the nose part. So it is technically the same way as a baked paper dragon, which is just slowly gluing down hot glue down the nose and outlining if there is any designs. For example, like Sunny here, she has the lemon design on her nose, but she doesn't have any designs, so it would just be like a clear piece of purple. As the hot glue gun is warming up on the side here, we're gonna take, let's see, a tiny little rectangle. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take her and we're gonna put it on the nose and then bend it and make sure that there's outlines. You can see here. See, it's on the nose, we're bending it. There you go. And then we have to bend this side. Yeah. So we're basically just bending it to get the outlines of what we're gonna do. Outline here. You can tell where it is when you press really hard, or you can feel where the line is. Yeah, like that. Yeah, you just have to like feel and keep checking where it ends. Yeah, the line's here and here. It doesn't have to be perfect, just somewhat of a line so you know where to color. There. So your line should look something like straight lines going here and then kind of like out, because this is the nose right here. Color everything in. Try to go outside the line so that if we cut it like wrong, we can always fix it up. Little dots. Oh. I just did it with my light color when I was supposed to do it with my dark color. As you see here, light and then dark. Okay, I'm gonna have to redo that. Be right back. Whoa, that's a lot of glue. Okay. And other side. Okay, now that this is done and all glued, I'm gonna go ahead with the easier part, which is actually, oh, the nose down here. So now that we got the middle glued down, we're going to do very, very little amounts. And then just like that. Oh, I took too long, so it dried. You also have to move so fast because hot glue is just really, it dries really fast. If you don't have hot glue to do the nose part, you can try to do it with tape. It won't be the same and it will be really insanely difficult, so I don't recommend doing that. But might as well try if you don't have a hot glue gun. I would recommend just getting a hot glue gun if you are going to continue making mini paper dragons and paper dragons in general, as it helps you a lot. It's hard to get this on camera and do it at the same time. Okay, put my finger. Oh, it's really hot. Okay, sorry, it's really hard to get this on camera. I'm struggling as it's just so small. Now I'm going to bend this over. Now just the same, just add a little tiny piece and continue down. And stick it, and then we're basically done. As you can see here, there's a lot of excess though. So we're just going to cut that. Be very, very slow and careful with your cuts, because if you cut the wrong place, the whole thing could fall apart and break the main base. And you can also cut the glue too, that doesn't matter. Just be careful with how much glue you cut off. Yeah, and then same to the other side. There we go. And she's done. And there you have it. She has her little horn out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this tutorial helped you. If you have any questions, definitely tell me in the comments. If you like paper dragons and what I do on this channel, think about subscribing if you aren't already to get notified about more videos like this. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye!